What are some toxic feminine traits you have experienced? Being absolutely vicious about their friends behind their backs while acting very supportive to their faces immediately makes me think everything she says is insincere. I heard a phrase once that went something like, women are nice to each other in person, but hate each other behind their backs. Men will go up to their brothers and jokingly call them all sorts of bad things to their face, but they have their back. My first wife just treated me like an income. I've experienced that. When I tried to curb her spending, she demonized me and told everyone who would listen that I was treating her like a child with an allowance and that she was trapped by my control. She spent me into debt twice. It was so bad that I had to re-enlist in the army for a bonus just to get out of the red. When we finally divorced, the only thing she was concerned about was the checking account, which I split in half and wrote her a check for, and that was it. We had less than 4k in the bank. 6 months after the divorce I had 50k in the bank. My ex used to slap me and then be all like, you can't hit me, I'm a girl. That type of teaching is literally brainwashed into kids, boys and girls. We grow up thinking it's really true until we reach junior high or high school to have different views on the subject. Had a GF who went on a campaign to turn all our mutual friends against me right after we broke up. I lost like 6 good friends in a week. 2 friends didn't take the bait and knew what she was up to. Those 2 friends are the real ones. Never forget. Told me show your feelings and then get told you are too sensitive and told to be a man. I used to be so closed off only to open once and then close off stronger again. Be a man, they said. You need to make changes, but don't you dare ask me to make changes mentality. Or if you voice frustrations or are upset about something, they get upset at you for being upset. Another way my mom behaved at me, got mad at me for feeling upset or having a bad mood because it's not allowed. Only she can have her fits and insult you without you reacting to it upset. Violence which is somehow acceptable. Was watching Rossen last night, and in the episode she walks past Dan, her husband, and sucker punches him in the stomach as she's upset with him. To which he doubles over to great applause and laughter by the audience. I thought, if the roles were reversed, this would be a whole different scene. Pay attention. It's very prevalent in TV and movies. Female on male violence is a joke. And before anyone tries to say women aren't as strong as men and thus can't hurt them, that's not the point. My ex had a weird fetish where she'd dress up like herself and be a huge bee all of the time. Bo Burnham. Trying to create jealousy on purpose. My ex would create fake Instagrams of women to try and trap me and prove I was cheating. That's next level crazy. Sorry you had to deal with that. Becoming a victim when caught in the wrong. Manipulative, pathological lies, gaslighting, love bombing, silent treatments. This is my ex. She is terrifying with how good at lying she is. After we broke up she stuck around my friend group leeching off everyone. She had sex with her best friend's Catalin's boyfriend and got caught. I watched in shock as she used tears, inside jokes and Catalin's secrets as leverage to convince Catalin that it was her fault, that her boyfriend cheated on her, that a mutual enemy of theirs was trying to steal him away. Not true. So she, my ex, was doing her a favor by making sure Catalin's boyfriend fell for her instead of their mutual enemy, because at least now I can convince him to stay with you. They were best friends again by the end of the night, and I guarantee my ex continued to have sex with the boyfriend behind Catalin's back. Terrifying. Sniping. Women are really good at passive aggressively attacking your ego or self-esteem, and it either low-key or just out of line, and somehow to her you're the one who's overreacting when you respond in kind. I was hoping you meant actual sniping SMH. Women often say they want men to express themselves emotionally, open up and really let the feelings flow, and men should absolutely feel comfortable to do so, especially when so many of us are conditioned from a young age to do the exact opposite. But so often I see women tearing men down for doing exactly this, or even more frustratingly turning it back around on the men to win an argument, or making it about themselves to prove a point. It drives me bananas and really stops me from wanting to share. being safe as long as you do everything they want. But as soon as anything is not going according to their plan, the whole relationship is at risk. That's a good one. I found that humoring it and being 100% willing to leave changes the tune. Jealous/bored single friends intentionally sabotaging your healthy relationship because they want their friend back. They miss going out to girls' night. Just happened to me and almost every guy I've talked with about it. No accountability for stuff they've done wrong. Mid-placement of blame or just getting angry and saying okay when you try to prove a point or point out when they did the exact same thing. Whatever. Can you just drop it already? Why are you so overly upset about nothing? Sheesh. As if they didn't spend the last 20 minutes arguing the wrong point. Being humble and graceful in defeat isn't easy for anyone though. One of the traits I've noticed in a handful of women is that they will not hesitate, sometimes even appearing to take pleasure in, saying incredibly judgmental and insulting things to men, and then being shocked when men respond in kind. Several months ago, I was at a bar, talking to a woman. I thought the conversation was going well, and I asked her if she'd like to get together sometime. She said, "I don't date short guys. I'm about 5'7". I responded, "Well, I don't usually date fat girls." And she responded with shock and horror that I would say that. Then, one of her friends tried to fight me and the staff threw them out. It was bizarre. Great response. Gaslights the S out of you. If you raise any concerns about her, you're just projecting or attacking her. If attacking you or crying doesn't work, she then simply calls you crazy and refuses to admit any wrongdoing, unless literally caught red-handed. Privacy means nothing to them. If they learn something about you, consider it public knowledge. There was one time me and this girl were about to have sex, but didn't because she kind of just got up and left. I wasn't happy about it. But what am I gonna do? As she's walking out, she tells me, "Please, don't talk about this with anyone." And I didn't. The next week I have one of her friends come up to me and go, "Hey, so I heard you and girl did this, and fatty don't understand it." Boss B energy. The female equivalent to alpha males. Both are just sad little people who think being an asshole is somehow a good thing. Women hit a lot. And gossip. Dear Lord. The gossip. Had a sloppy drunk Tinder date hit me repeatedly on the parkway as I drove her home. This was around one of those really tight bends at 40 miles per hour. After she fell out of my car and stumbled into her house, I never blocked someone and floored it home so fast. At first read I thought she opened the door of the car and flew out while you were taking a corner at 40 miles per hour, then you just fled the scene of the crime. Women who openly discuss sex details with their horrible friends, who then talk s and mock men for things they cannot control like their dicks. Men don't do this the way women do it these days, and it's disturbing. Lol, had a ref buddy pull this and her friends mocked my size. I'm average if that's TMI. Sorry, I said at least she's getting dick. Unlike you pugs. They did look like little pug dogs, lol. Double standards mostly. They can use profanity and threats all day long, but when a guy says fuck they go running 2 hours. Most are complete hypocrites about sexual assault, as long as victim is male. I was a bouncer/doorman at a bar. The S I had to deal with when I worked was nightly. If I had done it, I'd be in jail. Also bridal parties, some of the most annoying groups of people bar workers have to deal with. I recall seeing a thread about hen/bridal parties in one of the UK subs. Apparently they are so bad that some LGBT clubs outright ban them. It's like they want to go to a club where they won't get harassed by straight guys, only to grab the crotches of some random twinks. If you say I had a hard day, they had a harder day. You say I'm tired, and they are more tired. You lend your ear whenever they are feeling bad. But when you open up, it becomes a competition. From my previous marriage, I don't know what the specific name for it is, but she sabotaged my desire to lose weight with the keto diet because it wasn't as effective on her. I lost over 35 pounds and she lost maybe 10. It was then declared a failure by her, and she undermined me by always making high carb meals for days on end and becoming upset when I didn't partake of her food. Gaslighting when I'd have my recreation time. Sexual favors in exchange for chores. Ugh. Just get it over with, was the usual response to my attempts to initiate sex. Followed by I'm horny now, after I busted my disappointing nut. Followed by 3 hours of her trying to initiate. Followed by an hour-long fight at 2 AM, because you're never horny when I am. I was a bad father, because I disciplined the kids. I was a bad father, because I had boundaries with the kids. I was a bad husband for trying to have boundaries with my wife. I've never had a man be as bad to me as a woman. A man may be evil, but generally they are transparent about it. Women prefer to act like your friend when they are poisoning you. Met my ex-wife while she was dating someone else. We got to know each other but weren't close. They broke up, and not long after she found out she was pregnant, we started dating. Engaged a few months after the kid was born, and baby daddy wasn't around, so moved in together. Over the next year I found myself becoming the primary parent. We got married, and not long after she asked for an open relationship so she could go out more. I was basically a single parent by this point, taking care of her kid, whom I treated and loved as my own. When I said I know, and I wanted more even duties, she reminded me of something I confided in her when she was still with baby daddy, that because I never knew my father I couldn't wait to be one. We divorced a year later, and she hasn't let me see the kid since. The kid who called me daddy, whom I changed more diapers, used to feed and bathe and take to the park, while she was off socializing with mostly men. I should have seen it coming. Bitch eventually gave custody back to baby daddy and moved across country. When a woman is having a rough time, it's her problem. When a man is having a rough time, it's his problem. When a woman makes money, it's hers. When a man makes money, it's ours. She dumped me for no reason. It's my fault. I dumped her for getting physically violent. It's my fault. 1. After hitting me, she cries and plays victim card 2. Your money is our money. My money is my money, she says. 3. She demands I should say sorry first because she is a woman. 4. Blaming their intentional, criminal, and cruel and illogical acts on their periods and hormones. 5. Talking bad about me to my parents. When I question her when did these incidents happen, she keeps mute.